You're about to see a heated clash between James O'Brien and Jacob Rees-Mogg. Granted, it was from a few years back, but I think it's really still valuable to watch, and I'll give you my thoughts at the end.
So when the vote is lost tonight by the Prime Minister, and we go back to Brussels and ask them to do what they've said in very clear terms they're not prepared to do, what happens then?
Well, there's then a choice for the European Union, as much as there is for us, whether we leave with a different deal or whether we leave without one, because that's what the law provides for.
Sorry, say that again. The European Union get to decide what happens to us?
No, there's a choice
good.
for both of us.
Oh, so that's not what you said?
No, I said there's a choice for both of us.
Carry on.
Either we have a new deal, which both sides are then willing to accept, or we leave without a deal on the
So that's the option now. The European Union, if they're telling the truth when they say that we're not going to renegotiate anything, we leave without a deal.
But this is a negotiation, so when people say this is our bottom line, it very rarely is. But time will tell.
So how much time have we got?
We've got, 73 days?
Yes, and
so,
at the end, so you think in the next 73 days the European Union are going to change the negotiating position that has been more or less constant for the last 12 months?
In reality, I think it's more likely that we leave without an agreement and leave on WTO terms. Okay. So that goes back to what we were discussing before.
It does. So you're advocating for no deal. That's what you believe is the most likely outcome.
It's what one believes is most likely and what one is advocating for are not necessarily the same thing.
So what is one advocating for?
I would be in favour of a deal. But if that proves impossible, there is nothing to be fearful about leaving on WTO terms.
Okay, and all the people that say there's a lot to be fearful of, like the National Farmers Union and the Governor of the Bank of England and the CBI, you can see what they can't see, which is...
Well, the CBI's got everything wrong in its history. It wanted us to join the euro, wanted us to join the exchange rate mechanism.
I think that's what you just called a red herring or something, isn't it? So the question is, what can you see that they can't see?
What I would say is that you should judge people by their previous track record.
Well, I am. Why haven't you taken down that tweet from The Sun about what tariffs really means? Because The Sun withdrew it and it's still on your Twitter account, so I'm judging you by your track record.
Right. Judge away. The Governor of the Bank of England said we'd have a technical recession. Thank you so much. Fortunately, you're not a part of the judiciary. The Governor of the Bank of England said we would have a technical recession purely on a vote to leave.
The question is, what can you see that they can't see? And you know that the Governor, this is so disingenuous. The Governor of the Bank of England dedicated himself on the morning after the vote to making his own predictions not come true. But you know this. You just know that if you say it in a plausible and persuasive fashion, people will continue to believe you, despite the fact that you've led them to the precipice of a no-deal Brexit, which even you know deep down will be disastrous. Unless you can answer this question. What is it you can see that they can't?
You're trying to get up to the adverts with an hysterical diatribe. I think
it's all right. We can postpone the adverts. What can you see that all of the people who warn against coming out with no deal can't see?
I can see what they've got wrong before and why.
I'm not asking about the past. I'm asking about the future. What can you see that they can't see?
The past is a very useful guide to the future because you can see why people are making the judgments. The CBI protects incumbent interests, and therefore it always goes for things that are not for the consumer interest but the producer interest.
Yes, okay.
The Governor of the Bank of England is a deeply politicised figure who has been anti-Brexit from the moment it was proposed. What can I see? I can see the opportunities of cheaper food, clothing and footwear, helping most of all the incomes of the least well-off in our society.
Absolutely nobody agrees with you.
We can cut tariffs, we can reduce costs to people.
Absolutely nobody agrees with you. Even the Sun newspaper withdrew these claims.
It's wonderfully exciting. It's a great opportunity. It is freedom for the British people. It is no longer shackled to the failed economic model of the European Union, which has the euro and high unemployment and even Germany going into recession. It is a wonderful opportunity for our nation. You should rejoice and be proud at what our country can do.
I was hoping to have reasons for rejoicing at the end of this conversation, so I'll ask you one final time. The economic modelling that you rely upon has been discredited so badly that even the Sun withdrew it. Why do you persist?
That's not true. The advice I take is from economists for free trade and Patrick Minford, who has the best track record of almost any forecaster you can find in this country, and that cutting tariffs does cut prices. That's unquestionably true.
Patrick Minford, let me just write that down. Patrick Minford has the best reputation for economic forecasting.
He got the exchange rate mechanism right, he got the euro right. His record in this field
Gordon Brown got the euro right. So Jacob Rees-Mogg is the gentleman that said for Brexit to succeed, agriculture and industry will be decimated in this country.
Won't be decimated
but he said that, and he's the man you're citing.
that actually it will be an opportunity for us to be more competitive.
We need to be clear. He's the man you're citing, and those are his words.
You're taking one very selective quotation from him. He's actually saying that there's a real economic opportunity.
Did he or did he not say that?
And we'll get fast
did he or did he not say that manufacturing industry and agriculture would be more or less destroyed?
You've got to put what he said in the full context of the economic growth that we will
Did he or did he not say that agriculture and industry would be destroyed?
I think, as I refer you to the answer I've just given,
well, I'd like a yes or a no. Did he or did he not say it?
You might like all sorts of things, but
did he or did he not say it?
You're quoting extraordinarily selectively from somebody who has forecast.
So he said it.
He has forecast correctly on the exchange rate mechanism, on the euro, and the opportunities that come from cutting the barriers to trade, which have worked in every country.
Your favourite economic forecaster explained that agriculture and industry would be destroyed by Brexit.
You're completely exaggerating a comment that he made.
So he did say it. So he did say it.
What you're saying is inaccurate.
Okay.
You're trying to spin something.
That's
when he points to
over.
It is indeed, yes, it's your reputation.
Absolutely.
But it's a fine one, and it makes good listening.
Yes, so you're not going to answer the question.
I've answered many of your questions.
You have, but here's the last one. Did Patrick Minford, your economic forecaster of choice...
I've already answered that one. I've told you you're doing the classic thing of taking something selectively and out of context to make a wrong point.
Okay, so did he say it or not?
I've just answered your question. I refer you to what I said a moment ago.
Well, just remind my listeners, did he say it or not?
They were paying more attention than you.
I heard you say that he'd been quoted, which would suggest he did say it, but you haven't answered my question except obliquely. So the man that you cite as an economic forecaster to be trusted...
You're so classically inaccurate. I've answered your question merely not in the way
I'm very grateful for your time.
You wanted me to.
Well, no, I asked a question that admits a yes or no answer, and you haven't provided a yes or no answer, so we can at least end on a tone of agreement. You didn't answer the question in the way that I wanted to, and we both know why.
Now, I don't know about anyone else, but I got really bad PTSD from listening to that, because it reminded me of the kind of conversations around the time, and it was just real frustrating back and forth about trying to get the best Brexit deal, and in the end, it was a complete shambles. And Jacob Rees-Mogg was playing classic politician here, where he was dodging questions for the entire interview and not really answering anything James O'Brien challenged him on. And one slightly random thing is, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but Jacob Rees-Mogg now has like a weird reality TV show. I would never watch it, but if any one of you have watched it, let me know in the comments. It sounds horrific. But anyway, Jacob Rees-Mogg is just kind of playing a classic politician here, and he's dodging all the questions throughout the interview. And this was many years ago, but I think now you can kind of see why we're in the mess we're in, which is unfortunate. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments, and I'll catch you in the next video.